Bruce Lee was not just a fighter, he was a philosopher who saw combat as the last option, not the first choice. Between 1965 and 1973, he developed a powerful mindset that changed how the world understood fighting and self-defense. He believed that true mastery is not about defeating others, but about avoiding unnecessary conflict altogether. His famous idea, "the best fight is no fight," was not weakness, but the highest form of intelligence and control. Bruce saw violence as a failure of awareness, discipline, and emotional control rather than a solution to problems. This is the philosophy behind his thinking, where peace and awareness were stronger than any physical strike. The meaning behind no fight philosophy. Bruce Lee's idea of the best fight is no fight was not about fear or avoidance but about ultimate control over situations. He believed that a truly skilled person never needs to prove their strength through violence or aggression. For Bruce, fighting was always the last resort when all peaceful options had completely failed. He saw unnecessary conflict as a waste of energy, time, and human potential that could be used for growth instead. His philosophy was deeply rooted in self-awareness and understanding one's emotions before reacting to situations. Bruce emphasized that most fights begin in the mind long before they become physical confrontations. If a person can control their mind, they can control their actions and avoid destructive decisions. He believed that wisdom lies in preventing conflict rather than winning it after it starts. This mindset made him different from traditional fighters who focused only on victory in combat. Bruce Lee's approach turned fighting into a tool for understanding life, rather than just defeating opponents. He taught that real strength is shown when a person chooses peace over unnecessary violence. This principle became the foundation of his entire fighting philosophy and personal discipline. Fighting as a last resort. Bruce Lee always believed that physical fighting should only be used when absolutely necessary and unavoidable. He understood that every fight carries risks, not just physical injury but emotional and mental consequences as well. According to him, a wise person first tries to resolve conflict through communication and understanding. He taught that walking away from a fight is not weakness, but a sign of maturity and intelligence. Bruce believed that ego is often the main reason people get involved in unnecessary conflicts. By controlling ego, a person can avoid many situations that would otherwise lead to violence. He trained himself to stay calm even in situations where aggression was directed toward him. This level of control required strong mental discipline and deep self-awareness of emotions. Bruce emphasized that the strongest fighter is the one who does not need to fight at all. He saw fighting as a failure of communication rather than a solution to problems. This mindset helped him develop a more peaceful and intelligent approach to martial arts. His philosophy redefined fighting as a last step rather than a first reaction. The role of self-control in combat. Bruce Lee believed that self-control was the most important skill in any form of conflict or combat situation. He taught that without emotional control, even the most skilled fighter can make dangerous mistakes. For him, anger and frustration were weaknesses that cloud judgment and slow down reaction time. He trained his mind to stay calm under pressure so that he could think clearly in every situation. Bruce understood that real power comes from controlling emotions, rather than being controlled by them. He practiced awareness techniques that allowed him to observe situations without immediate reaction. This helped him separate emotion from action, making his decisions more precise and effective. He believed that a calm mind is faster and more accurate than an emotional mind. Self-control also allowed him to avoid unnecessary conflicts in daily life situations. Bruce saw discipline as the foundation of emotional stability and mental strength. He believed that mastering oneself is more important than mastering any opponent. This level of control was what made his philosophy of fighting so unique and powerful. Awareness before action. Bruce Lee placed great importance on awareness before taking any physical action in a conflict situation. He believed that most people react without thinking, which often leads to unnecessary fights and consequences. For Bruce, awareness meant understanding the situation fully before deciding how to respond. He trained himself to observe body language, tone, and environment before making any move. This allowed him to predict outcomes and avoid dangerous situations whenever possible. Bruce believed that awareness creates time, and time creates better decisions in critical moments. He emphasized that reacting too quickly without understanding often leads to regret and failure. By staying aware, he could choose whether to engage, avoid, or de-escalate a situation. This mindset turned fighting into a last option rather than an automatic response. Bruce saw awareness as a form of intelligence that protects both mind and body. He believed that people who are aware rarely find themselves in a necessary conflict. This principle became a core part of his entire martial arts philosophy. Ego as the real enemy. Bruce Lee often said that the biggest enemy in any fight is not the opponent, but one's own ego. He believed that ego creates unnecessary pride, anger, and emotional reactions that lead to conflict. Many fights, according to Bruce, start because people feel the need to prove themselves. He taught that true confidence does not require validation through violence or dominance. Bruce emphasized that letting go of ego is the first step toward peace and self-control. He believed that ego blinds people from seeing better solutions in conflict situations. By removing ego, a person can make smarter and more rational decisions under pressure. Bruce practiced humility as a way to stay grounded and mentally balanced in all situations. He saw ego as a barrier between awareness and intelligent action. According to him, the strongest person is the one who does not need to prove strength. This belief helped him develop a calm and controlled approach to fighting and life. His philosophy showed that defeating ego is more important than defeating any opponent. Martial arts as self-expression, not violence. Bruce Lee viewed martial arts not as a tool for violence, but as a form of self-expression and personal development. He believed that true martial arts should reflect the individuality and creativity of the practitioner. For Bruce, fighting techniques were not meant to harm others but to understand oneself better. He taught that martial arts is an art form that expresses movement, awareness, and discipline. Bruce rejected the idea that martial arts should only focus on winning physical fights. He encouraged people to see it as a way to grow mentally, physically, and emotionally. His philosophy removed fear-based thinking from martial arts practice. Instead of aggression, he promoted fluidity, control, and intelligent movement. Bruce believed that expressing yourself fully reduces the need for conflict or violence. He saw martial arts as a journey of self-discovery rather than competition alone. This perspective changed how many people around the world viewed combat training. His ideas helped transform martial arts into a more balanced and philosophical discipline. Control over reaction. Bruce Lee strongly believed that controlling reaction is more powerful than reacting instantly without thought. He trained himself to pause mentally before responding to any aggressive situation. This pause allowed him to evaluate the situation and choose the best possible response. Bruce understood that uncontrolled reactions often escalate conflicts unnecessarily. He practiced mental discipline that helped him separate emotion from immediate action. By controlling reaction, he reduced the chances of making mistakes in high-pressure situations. Bruce believed that true strength lies in choosing response instead of automatic reaction. He trained his body and mind to stay synchronized under stress and tension. This ability made him calm and effective even in unpredictable environments. He saw reaction control as a key part of martial intelligence and awareness. Bruce believed that people who control reaction control the outcome of conflict. This principle became a major part of his fighting philosophy. Peace as ultimate strength. Bruce Lee believed that peace is not weakness but the highest form of strength and intelligence. He saw peace as the ability to remain calm and balanced even in chaotic situations. For Bruce, a peaceful mind is more powerful than a violent and uncontrolled one. He believed that avoiding unnecessary fights requires more courage than engaging in them. Bruce emphasized that real strength is shown through restraint and discipline. He taught that peace comes from understanding oneself and others deeply. Instead of seeking conflict, he encouraged seeking solutions and understanding. Bruce believed that peaceful choices often lead to better long-term outcomes. He saw violence as temporary, but peace is something that builds lasting stability. His philosophy redefined strength as control over aggression and emotions. Bruce Lee's idea of peace became one of the most powerful parts of his legacy. He proved that the strongest fighter is often the one who chooses not to fight. The legacy of his philosophy. Bruce Lee's philosophy of the best fight is no fight. continues to influence people across the world today. His ideas changed the way martial arts, self-defense, and even life strategies are understood. He showed that intelligence and awareness are more powerful than physical aggression alone. Bruce's teachings inspired generations to think before acting in conflict situations. His philosophy is studied not just in martial arts but also in psychology and personal development. He proved that fighting is not always the answer to every problem in life. Bruce Lee's legacy is built on the idea of balance between mind, body, and emotion. His approach encourages people to avoid unnecessary conflict whenever possible. He showed that true mastery is the ability to control oneself completely. His philosophy remains relevant even decades after his time. Bruce Lee continues to inspire people to choose awareness over aggression. In the end, he proved that the greatest victory is avoiding the fight altogether.